Hi, you guys. Today we're going to be making some pumpkins inspired by Talavera pottery. Talavera pottery is a traditional Mexican pottery making and design method. So we're going to make some pumpkins that are inspired by these Talavera designs. Each table will have a reference sheet of these designs so that you can look at it as you work. First things first, we're going to start in pencil, regular pencil first, so we can erase if we make a mistake. And we're going to draw the shape of our pumpkin. So we're starting in regular pencil first to draw the shape of our pumpkin. So I'm going to start in regular pencil, and I'm going to start kind of near the top middle of my page. I'm going to do a big curved line. It gets a little flat on the bottom. It's okay if yours doesn't, if it curves up a little bit, but a big flat line, or a big curved line, sorry. Now that we have our big curved line, we're just gonna come around. We can make like a little dip right here. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. You might notice that my two sides are not the same. That's okay. Pumpkins are not symmetrical on each side usually. So it's okay if it's a little different. Some pumpkins are a little lumpy. It's all right if yours is not exactly perfect or just like mine. Now that we have our pumpkin shape, we can add in the lines that make it look more like a pumpkin. So I'm gonna start right here in the middle. I'm gonna have one that comes straight down. So one line in the middle that comes straight down. Then I'm gonna come out here on the side, and I'm gonna add a line that curves slightly. And then I'll do that one more time. I wanna make the sections big enough that I can still add patterns to them, so I'm not making them super small. Then I'm gonna come over to the other side and do the same thing. Now, if you made your pumpkin really small and you think this wouldn't be enough room, then what you can do, instead of doing that many lines, sometimes I start in the middle and I start with the curved lines. So sometimes when I start with the curved lines, I only do maybe 4 sections. Now that made this one really big, but that's okay. I'm not going for perfection. I'm just going for some kind of a pumpkin. So once you draw your pumpkin, you can add a little stem. I just go up, over, and down. Sometimes I like to add a little curly cue. That's where the vine connects. So once you've done your pumpkin, what you're gonna do is, still using pencil, you're gonna look at all of these Talavera designs. Once you've looked at the designs, you're gonna start adding Talavera inspired designs to your pumpkin. So once you've had a chance to look at these and see what they look like, you can start adding Talavera inspired designs to your pumpkin. I'm not picky about exactly which ones you do, that's up to you, but we're gonna add designs to our pumpkin that are inspired by this Talavera pottery and tile. Once you've drawn out all of your designs, you're going to use a crayon or a colored pencil to go on top of all of your pencil lines. So again, once you are done drawing out your pumpkin and all of the designs, you will use a crayon or a colored pencil to go on top of all of your pencil designs. We will get a chance to paint these sometime later in the year, so you might not want to color it all the way in. You're welcome to add a background if you want, and add as many designs as you'd like. If you need any help, just raise your hands, and I will come around to help you. Hi, you guys. Today we're going to be making some Talavera tiles inspired by historic or traditional Mexican tiles that we can see right here. So we're going to be working on some Talavera tiles using paper. I'm going to give you guys a lot of creative freedom in what colors you use and what designs you make. So I'm going to have examples or reference papers on each table of different Talavera tiles, so that you can look at those and reference them. You're going to get a little Talavera tile square piece of paper, and you're going to create your Talavera tile design. You're wanting to make sure that it is inspired by or based off of one of our traditional Talavera tiles and all of these nice designs. So make sure you're really looking at those and thinking about what you're doing before you put it on your paper. We're always going to start in pencil first when making these designs. That way, if you make a mistake, you can erase and try again instead of starting over on a new paper. When you're making your Talavera tiles, once you've drawn it all the way out in pencil first, and you have your designs ready on your paper, you can use colored pencil, permanent marker, or crayon to outline your designs. Next week, we're going to use paint to paint our Talavera tiles. If for some reason you don't want to use paint and you would rather use regular marker, you may do that. Just keep in mind that most of the class will be using paint next week. So our Talavera tiles are going to be inspired by the traditional Talavera tiles. We are using materials like pencil first and then outlining with permanent marker, colored pencil, or crayon. We are not coloring them all the way in because we are painting them next week. But we do want to make sure that we've gone on top of all of our pencil lines with some other material so that we can see it when we add the paint. Make sure that your name is on the back before you turn it in today. Once you're done, go ahead and put it in the turn-in tray. If you have any questions or need any help, please raise your hand. I'll be around the room to help you.